Hello, this is Winnie Dow, and today I would like to talk about Hurricane Maria and Puerto Rico and how Puerto Ricans are now funding in the island and all of that. But also, I would like to address some of the questions and comments that I have seen on social media. I usually make my videos in Spanish, but I decided to make this one in English because I am addressing the people of United States who speak English only. The first thing that I feel I need to address is that yes, Puerto Ricans are Americans. We are Americans. Puerto Rico actually never wanted to be American territory, and the people never wanted to be American, but United States decided this, and it's been like that for 100 years. A lot of people say that we do not pay taxes in the island. This is not true. If you read the Jones Act, if you take your time and read everything about it, Puerto Rico, through this law, pays billions of dollars annually to United States in taxes. The people of Puerto Rico do not pay personal federal taxes unless they are federal employees, of course, but they do pay a lot of taxes. Actually 11% of each dollar every time they buy something. So they do pay taxes. And United States benefits from this. That's why United States does not let Puerto Rico go, because if they didn't have a profit from the island, why would they keep it? A lot of people say Puerto Rican people want to be independent. They don't want to be a state. This is not completely true. We have three different political parties in Puerto Rico. One of them seeks the independence of the island from United States. This is a very small political party, so small that if it has 100 people, that would be incredible. There aren't that many people that believe Puerto Rico would be okay being independent. There's another political party that wants to remain a U.S. territory, and this is currently the minority because the political party that is in power seeks the statehood. In the last plebiscite that was done in the island, people voted to become a state. Every time that this option is brought up to Congress, Congress finds a reason to say, no, next time do it this way or that way. So that's how it is for people in Puerto Rico. Another thing people say is Puerto Ricans don't vote for the President of the United States. That's not completely correct. I am Puerto Rican, and I, as many other Puerto Ricans living in the mainland, vote for the President of the United States. At least we vote in the presidential elections. What happens is that any American citizen that does not have an address in the mainland cannot vote in the presidential elections. So if you have a house, let's say in Alabama, and you sell it and move to Puerto Rico, and that no longer is your address, and now you have a house in Puerto Rico, then you cannot vote in the presidential elections. And I think this is so for any other territory but American Samoa. But any American citizen that moves from Puerto Rico and has an address in the mainland, they can vote. There's no problem with that. So, and that is another myth. People were also saying that Puerto Ricans were not prepared for this Hurricane Maria, and that they had enough time to do so. What happens with this is not true, but this is why. Before Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, Hurricane Irma hit the northern part of the island, as well as the Lesser Antilles and some of the Greater Antilles. After Hurricane Irma hit the Antilles, Puerto Rico was leading rescue missions to these other islands. They were moving American evacuees from these islands to Puerto Rico, and foreigner refugees to Puerto Rico. And the people of Puerto Rico were buying water and food to donate to these other people. So when the people in charge of the weather reported that a hurricane category 5 was going to hit the island, what happened to the people is that they couldn't find enough water and food in the stores, because they had already bought everything they could to donate to their neighbors. So it's not that Puerto Rico wasn't ready, it's that Puerto Rico was in the middle of helping others when Hurricane Maria happened. Now, some people are saying that the governor of Puerto Rico is not doing a good job at responding. Well, that's very far from the truth. He's doing a lot for the island, but you have to remember that the island was leveled out. So he has no resources to help. There are no roads to get the food to the southern, western, and northwest part of the islands. Right now, it's almost impossible. You have to add also to that sadly, the Union of Truckers in Puerto Rico decided that this was the perfect moment to strike. So when the governor of Puerto Rico asked them to come to the ports, to the few ports that had been fixed or enabled to receive this merchandise, when that happened, sadly, they didn't go. Only the few truckers that were not part of the union were able to go and work. So the FURA from Puerto Rico, this is the part of I don't know, we have FURA here in United States, but this is people who fly helicopters, and they're trained in rescue, search and rescue and all that. So when that week before Trump even mentioned the island, it was Puerto Rico itself who was helping other Puerto Ricans doing the rescues and trying to get to the people. But people were incommunicated because sadly all communications in Puerto Rico were down. I had to wait 9 days to be able to communicate with my brother, who is in the south part of Puerto Rico. And when I did, he told me, we don't have water. We are boiling the water that we find, and then we are adding Clorox to it. And he also said, and we have no food. That's heartbreaking, because I know there's help in the ports, but it is only now that the army has been mobilized, and that a 3 or 4 star general has been appointed to the island, General Buchanan, and he is the one who prioritized food and water for people and fixing roads and all of that. So it's not due to the Governor Rosselló poor management of the island. Is because he doesn't have the resources or the means to help everyone in the island. So he's not the bad guy. He is trying to do as much as he can with the little he has. And then this other character, Carmen, Julian, Cruz. She is the mayor of San Juan, the capital of Puerto Rico. She's been talking on the news and saying that nobody is helping them and that nothing is being done. Well, the problem with this character is that she doesn't align with the government of Puerto Rico or the government of United States. Her political ideas are in favor of governments like Cuba and Venezuela. So what she's gonna say is always gonna be a reflection of that. This mayor was actually hindering aid to her own people because that makes her look good on TV. That gives her attention. Every time, what people are saying, and I'm saying for what I've been able to talk about with people I know in Puerto Rico, they're saying she doesn't help. She only moves when she sees a camera rolling. That's how bad she is. But then Trump decided to respond not to all the other mayors that are doing a great job, but to her, because sometimes he behaves a bit emotional. When he has to behave rationally, he behaves emotionally. He responded to her saying that all Puerto Ricans wanted everything to be handed out to them, or that we wanted everyone to do things for us. No, that's very far from the truth. We had been pleading with anyone in United States to do something for 9 days before something was done, before President Trump stopped talking about the NFL and put his eyes in the island. So no, we Puerto Ricans in the diaspora, Puerto Ricans here living in United States and around the world, we try to do something. It is because of us that he finally decided to pay attention to our pleas and waive the Jones Act for a very little time. Oh my gosh, I'm talking and I got lost. Okay, so it was because of that he decided to do something. And he only waived the Jones Act for 10 days, which doesn't help that much, because if help comes from other countries by ship, it's not gonna make it to our ports in less than 10 days. So it's not helping. It looks good that he said it had been lifted, but it's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's not gonna be a realistic help for us. We need that law to be lifted for at least a year. But as he said, that will not benefit his friends, the ones that exploit the island. So yes, when you people hear about all these things about Puerto Rico, do not repeat them. Do some research. Learn about what is going on in Puerto Rico, in the island. Because right now, a lot of bad things are happening. People are committing suicide in the island. That's how bad things are. And I don't think those are stories that are coming out. But people are committing suicide. People don't have food or water. People are desperate. Babies are running out of formula, and people who need insulin and other medications to survive don't have it. They don't have electricity to keep the insulin cold, so it's going bad. The people who are on dialysis, they are dying because they either don't receive dialysis at all, or they receive less time that they should. So it's not enough. It's not enough, and they're dying because of that. Older people who are in nursing homes are dying because they don't have water, so they are dying of dehydration. They are also dying because of the lack of medication, the lack of oxygen, because the plants don't have diesel to run. So it's a very, very ugly scenario. It's a disaster zone. Yes, nobody in United States had ever seen something like this. It's something horrible. My husband, who is in the military and who is also Puerto Rican, when he saw the first videos from a helicopter, seeing how the island looked, he said to me, it looked like Puerto Rico was in the middle of a war and it lost. That's how bad it looks. The water is getting to the houses, that the houses are getting flooded. And today as I'm talking, is Saturday. They are waiting for a tropical depression that is gonna bring more rain. So they're expecting to have more floods because the soil is saturated, and some of the rivers are still out of their course. So it is only logical that more floods are going to happen. Helicopters that were flying rescue missions had to go back to their airports because they cannot fly in that inclement weather. So it's a horrible scenario. People are dying, children are dying. I know a lot of people are trying to do their best, and they're trying to help Puerto Rico, send help, get people out of there and all of that. But what right now is hindering those efforts is the Jones Act, because it has been lifted, but the things that arrived in the port when the Jones Act was in place are blocking the things received to help, so in order for the governor to order those things, I forgot, it's like trailers full of merchandise. So for the governor, in order for the governor to move the help, to move forward the help so that the trucks can load it and deliver it, they need to move those other trailers first, and those had been bought by private stores like Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, places like that, when the Jones Act was in place. So he has to buy the merchandise or take it, but he cannot just do it without the due process. So it's not that he's not doing enough, it's that the laws that are in place in Puerto Rico are not the same laws that are in place in Texas and Florida. I think the help could go faster. I think President Trump should make this help go faster. Hopefully with General Buchanan, things are going to be better now. But reality is that as I am recording this video, people are dying. People in Puerto Rico are dying, and they are American citizens. I had someone say that Trump was letting them die because they are brown skin, and this is also not completely true. Hispanic is an ethnicity, which means people who speak Spanish because of a Spanish background. But people in Puerto Rico belong to many races. We have Asians, we have white people of Iberian, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern background. We have black people from upper and sub-Sahara. We have Native Americans, the Tainos. We have people of many backgrounds. My husband, racial backgrounds. My husband and I are both Puerto Rican and belong to different races. So if that's what's keeping you from saving people, so know that by not saving brown people, you're also letting white people die. If that's so important. So I think I'm gonna stop now because it's I don't know. I think if you haven't gotten the idea by now, me speaking about it or anyone else speaking about it, giving you reasons to help is not gonna make any sense. I hope that I answered some of the questions people have or some of the comments people make, because Puerto Rican people are people. They're human beings. If you need a reason to do something and save your brothers and sisters who happen to also be American, you are in deeper trouble than the people that were affected by Hurricane Maria. Bye.